Yo, what's up? TJR, TJunioR here, and wanted to play some 7 Days to Die for you guys. I'm joining an online server because I don't know what's going on in my own save files, so I'm just joining an online one and hoping for the best. But what I wanted to talk about for today's video is a show that was a favorite of mine for a short time, and now I'm just kind of on the fence about it. But I wanted to talk about The Walking Dead. If you couldn't tell by me picking a zombie game to play today. But yeah. Let's just all this crap away. But yeah, I want to talk about The Walking Dead. Basically, to introduce to start the shit off. Is this a random map or is this Nav's game? That don't matter. Everything's been searched through. I'm not even gonna. Yeah. Day 67. Oh, almost definitely gonna not survive the night. All right, but anyways, let's just start my little introduction. Since the season 6 finale of The Walking Dead, I wanted Chandler Riggs' character to be the one to take out Stephen Ogg's character, and even more so after Simon went to Alexandria looking for Daryl Dixon. MC killing off Carl Grimes was a mistake, and here is why. Point 1. And these are just points with little to minor supporting points underneath, but I'm gonna go in depth. My point 1 is a bitter ending to the quote-unquote first chapter of the show, which is the first 8 seasons. I don't know if this was planned from the beginning. I doubt it was. But yeah, it's been gone note to say that that's the ending of the first chapter of the show. I don't understand why they're doing it that way instead of one long storyline, but I guess the storyline of Rick Grimes and Carl Grimes comes to a depressing end because they felt that a good way to end this chapter for storytelling reasons for storytelling reasons and just for entertainment, they thought to have the main character's son die was the way to go. I'm sorry, but to me it was it's a show, I understand, and I feel because it's a show there's a certain obligation to keep your fans not only invested but entertained and wanting to come back for more. To be honest, like the first half of season 7 was hard for me to keep watching, but I did because I read the comic storyline, and this is after season 6. I didn't know nothing of the storyline of the comic storyline up until after season 6, but season 7 I read it up to the point. I basically read all 3 compendiums, and I found out about how the storyline went, so I stuck with the present time because that's how the storyline went. But it was hard to watch, but I still watched it. And it's kind of the same thing with Glenn and Abraham's death. The only reason why I wasn't up in arms about it, I mean, I was up in arms about it because I felt 2 kills was a little overkill, which it was. The show hasn't recovered. It really hasn't recovered since the season 7 premiere. But yeah, it was fated to happen, so I was fine with it. Now, with the Carl death, it being original and all, it just rubs me the wrong way, and that's death over there for me. So I'm gonna go this way. But yeah, I mean, just Carl's death. I understand they want to change up some things and have things be different. For the sake of not repeating the same storylines, becoming predictable. But other than this one small thing that is actually it seems in tune with Andrea's death from the comics. It just feels like it was out of place. But in the comics, I don't know. I feel like Andrea's, spoilers for the comics, my bad. Andrea's death was more organic, and it just wasn't shoehorned in there for one reason or another. Which I'll get into that later. But yeah, it's just a bitter ending. It's not. Ooh, Okay, it's not bittersweet. It's just bitter. It's just, I don't know why I come back to the show. I'm not excited for season 9. I want it to be, but I'm just not. Yeah, I mean, just to have your first chapter, quote unquote, end with the death of the prodigal son, you know, the person that was supposed to carry Rick Grimes' legacy, it's just I don't know, it's just disheartening, and it doesn't make me want to come back and watch some more. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the second half of season 8 was a little more interesting, but not by much, because every time Rick and Carl were on screen together interacting with each other, I was just glued. I was glued to the scene. Whatever was happening, I paid complete attention. Now, I don't know if these fools are running or not. I only got 2 days before the 7th day to find some weapons and shit. I'm gonna chill up here for the night. But yeah, it's just a really depressing ending. And I'm not too interested in the second chapter of the show, whatever that'll be, and whoever that's about, Daryl Dixon. But yeah, it's just every time Rick and Carl were on the screen, I was glued. I loved that father-son dynamic, and while every other character I loved that died, whether it was Noah, whether it was Glenn, whether it was Shane, whether it was Sophia, whether it was Abraham, whatever character that died, I knew I could always count on the dynamic of the father-son to keep me invested. Now that's not there, and there's no other relationship like that on the show, with every child dead, and not every child dead, but it seems like every protagonist that you care about, if they had a child, they're dead. And oh my god, alright bitch, you want to do this? Is this what you want to do? I'm about to die. Oh, I'm so dead. I'm so dead. I'm so dead. I'm so dead right now. But yeah, point 1, depressing ending for the first chapter of the show, quote unquote. And I just don't like it. Now, my second point, if I can get a chance to read it. It's a waste of Carl's character, the Negan relationship, and kind of invalidates Rick's character art. I wouldn't say invalidates his character art, but it just gives it a not a satisfying conclusion. Now, I know that all storytelling isn't happy endings and sunshine and roses, but you know, the world like The Walking Dead can use some hope, and I can't find hope in Henry or Enid. I just can't find hope for the future with characters like that, especially with, I've been looking into spoilers. I'm not gonna spoil anything for season 9, but I've been looking into spoilers for season 9, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm just not. But yeah, I'm not invested in any characters that are around now. Like, you waste, like, it feels like if you wanted better use of Carl's character, I would have killed off Carl before he became a likable character, which was around season 4. Ooh, sweet, you know I'm using that. But yeah, before season 4, before he became likable, like halfway through season 3, I would have killed off Carl if he wanted to use his death for views. But I mean, I guess it was more potent being 8 years into the series to milk his death for ratings. But yeah, it was a waste of Carl's character. Like, they underused him the last 2 seasons. I mean, well, the back half of season 7 and most of season 8, all of season 8, they underused Carl. Like, man, it's just, you don't see much of Carl, and that's the biggest thing that was missing in the second half of and in season 8 was that Carl and Rick relationship, that father-son dynamic, the thing that kept me invested in the show for this long. Now, I gotta go on note to say that I didn't start watching the show until season 6 aired, but I did watch it from season 1 to season 6, and watching it in that way, shape, or form, was better because I got to see everything back to back to back to back to back rather than waiting week after week after week after week after week, then months and then week after week. But yeah, watching everything back to back to back like that, it was fine. It didn't bother me that Carl, just shot up season 4, 5, and 6. But watching it back to back like that, it was more cohesive and it flowed better. Now I can't do that anymore because the father-son dynamic is gone. When I watch season 1, season 2, 3, 4, especially 4, 5, and 6, when they really focus on Rick and Carl after Lori being gone, it's just like, what's the point of watching this? It's only gonna develop into a death, a kind of shitty death, to be honest. But yeah, the Negan Carl relationship, we only saw sprinkles of that. We only saw sprinkles, a little taste, and honestly, I'm pissed off. It's like a tease. It's like a sexual tease with no climax. That's what it was, because I saw the Negan Carl relationship in the comics. I'm like, oh my god, this shit is awesome. It's kind of twisted because it's the main character's son and one of the main antagonists for a good while of the series. Just having this kind of what's the best analogy I can use, or a metaphor? It's not necessarily a Darth Vader Luke kind of thing because they are father son, but it's kind of like that, and it's kind of like the father fighting for the heart of his son while Negan's kind of corrupting him, but it wasn't really to that extent. But yeah, it was kind of like that, and I was hoping to see more of that in the show, especially after Sing Me a Song. God, man, I was so looking forward to that aspect, but now it's gone. I mean, we didn't even get a shit of it in season 8. We didn't get to see them interact other than when Carl was at the gate talking down to Negan. Oh, yeah, it's just it was a wasted load. Yeah, and about Rick's character arc, I mean, like, you get an ending to his character arc, which sets up his time to leave. Because once you come on The Walking Dead anyway, once you complete your character arc, if you're a dynamic character, you're pretty much good to go. And the character arc for Rick is, how far will he go to protect his family? What will he do to protect his family? How will he show his love for his family? By protecting them. He couldn't protect Lori, and he could only protect Carl for so long. And who else is there to protect? That is his family. Other than his surrogate family from the apocalypse, there's no one left in Rick Grimes' family. Rick's wife is gone; she's dead, and Carl is dead. So, yeah, there's that. And I'm about to freeze up here. But yeah, there's that. And it kind of sucks. Yeah, we got Judith, but that's not his child. He said so. It's Lori and Shane's child. And there won't be that same dynamic with her and Rick like there was with Rick and Carl. Like, for instance, and it's really Andrew Lincoln and Chandler Riggs, because when they had the season 8 finale with younger Rick, quote unquote, and younger Carl, quote unquote, on the screen, I felt like I was getting slapped in the face. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. Do you know the age group of the people that are watching this shit? Now, I know you can't get Chandler Riggs to come in and play the part again, but know what I'm saying? You could have just not had done that. Okay, she wants a piece. She wants a piece, so she's gonna get a piece. Alright. But yeah, like, it just felt like a slap to the face, and I couldn't stomach those scenes with that other actor playing Carl, especially because we kind of know what Carl looks like around that age, considering, season 1 to season 8. But yeah, it's just, and, with Rick's character arc being completed, like I said, he's on his way out. So, there's that. Yeah, to elaborate a little bit on seeing the little bit that we did in the back half of season 8 and back half of season 7 and season 8, of Carl, the very little we saw, we don't see the change in him when he starts to be like, oh, we can't kill all of them. And it really doesn't work, because even in the only subtle change I saw in season 7 was when they went to Oceanside, and he's talking to Ian about, I think about the people that I killed and the people that I haven't killed. And I was like, okay. Think about the people you killed, okay. Think about that one guy. Think about the people you haven't killed, okay. The possible saviors that you don't want to kill. Alright, understandable, but we don't know. There's no context. I don't know what's going on until season 8 went out of the blue. After starting the war, everybody's fighting. After starting the war, everyone's fighting. He's like, we can't kill all of them. What are we fighting for? It's like, dude, you have no ground to be asking this question. You fired the first shot of this war, my friend. Yeah, that's okay. That's to elaborate on that. Next point, point number 3, how it was handled. Oh my god, dude. This is probably the biggest thing that pisses me off. How it was handled. One, it was a cash grab. It was a ratings grab. The way they promoted it, and the way they filmed it to mislead us, to not let us know. They gave us the bare minimum that Carl was gonna die before they showed us the bite. The only times we saw Carl was to play out the storyline. The first episode to give him his little callback to season 1 with Rick, and to set up the Sadiq storyline. And with the Sadiq storyline was Carl's death. That was the big pinnacle about it. They couldn't get the ball rolling unless he died. They could not get the ball rolling unless he died, because Rick would not have cared for a random motherfucker. Not in wartime, anyway. And you know, that's understandable, because you know they're at war right now. They can't you know, be taking in new orders. But you know, Carl's at a point too. The dude wouldn't have survived. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Okay, he fell off. Okay, I'm good. But yeah, like, he just it's just, oh man, they didn't show us anything. The only thing they showed us was the encounter, and then they cut away as soon as the zombie goes to bite Carl. They cut away, so you don't see it happen. And then you're implied that something happened in the struggle, because the way Carl got up was, oh no, oh shit. You know, it was just something went wrong. Even Sadiq asked, is he okay? You're implying something went wrong now. All of us was thinking, no, they're not gonna do that to Carl. They can't do that. Little did we know they actually did. Now me, around this time, rumors were starting to circulate that Carl would die, and I was like, well, is this the scene? Is this the scene where it happens? Where he gets bit? And it was. But, you know, I didn't know for sure the simple fact that the way they filmed it was to mislead us purposely. That's not good storytelling, if you ask me. That's not great storytelling. That's manipulative storytelling. Because if they showed everything in real time, they would have showed us he got bit and all that other junk. And, you know, they would have showed us everything after the fact, but not 2-3 episodes later in the premiere, where they showed us everything that happened with Carl. All the screen time we should have got in the first half, they give us in one episode in the second half. It just makes no sense. But the writing was shit. The whole situation was shit. How you gonna have, I mean, I understand in the real world, shit happens, you know? You know, mistakes happen. You know, motherfucker might slip and end up getting bit. But for a story, for a warrior, the sun's war, a warrior of the sun in the zombie apocalypse, to have him go out by tripping and getting bit is kind of pathetic. If I had a son that got bit like that, I'm like, I'd been like, son, boy, how could you let this happen? I'd be just as mad as I am heartbroken. Because, like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I'm not dying here. But yeah, it's just the writing was it makes no sense. How you gonna have someone who takes on 4 zombies by himself while his dad is sick get bit? Okay, The only thing I could believe is because now that he has one less eye than he did in that event, that it happened. And to be honest, it happened on his blind spot. It happened on his blind spot. I get it. But I just can't. I mean, then again, he has been pretty sheltered since the incident. It just doesn't work for me. Like, this dude, he's been a badass this whole time, and now all of a sudden he trips and falls and can't hold his own. The writing was bad. I already bitched about the promotional material, the way they went about it. They showed us a bite before the episode aired, and I'm like, oh no, this is it. Because what big major character got involved with a zombie recently? Carl was the only one, other than Gabriel, but we already know what was going through with Gabriel. He would have been dead by then. But yeah, Carl was the only one who got involved with walkers that could have possibly got bit, and he did get bit. And to go back to the writing real quick, there was something that popped up that I wanted to say. I already forgot it, but yeah, the promotional material. I mean, the way they just went about it, you could tell it was a blatant ratings grab. Oh yeah, back to the writing. It was mad predictable because of the structure they went with. We knew something bad was gonna happen at the mid-season finale because it's just been like that. There's always something big happening at the mid-season finale, or something big happening at the premiere of the mid-season or the season premiere. There's always something happening in premieres and finales. There's always something big happening. So it was quite predictable that something big would happen during the finale. Now, it didn't have to be a death. It could have just been a destruction of Alexandria, but no. They wanted to pile that in just to make sure they get people to come back for the second half of the season. You didn't need to throw in Carl's death for me to come back, honestly. Just the destruction of Alexandria, of their home, of their future, of their symbolic future. Now, they kind of did do that to the show as well by killing Carl. Because I knew they would have came back from Alexandria. I don't think they could come back from Carl. Not story-wise, not structure-wise, not show-wise. They can't come back from Carl. They can't. They can't make us care about another child character like that. Judith, you could try, but there's little to nothing known about that character. You have to do all that in Season 9, Season 10. But yeah, there's no other child character that you care for in this story. you just don't. And the behind the scenes, oh my god, the behind the scenes of how it happened, what happened. They're saying that Chandler Riggs was fired, which I could believe. Like, there is no secret that AMC, they're kind of cheapskates, you know, with the budget of the show being the way it is, and how they don't want to pay their actors, how Andrew Lincoln, the star of the show, didn't get paid a reasonable wage for his work up until Season 7. And I think Jeffrey Dean was making more than Andrew Lincoln was in Season 7. But yeah, they want to pay their actors, so that's one thing. They don't want to up the budget, but they want more episodes, so now shit looks a little, looks ghetto fabulous. I'm not gonna lie. Some things on the show looks ghetto fabulous. There's things I see, like some props that are bent, some sets that are, a little that could use a little more convincing, you know what I'm saying? But all in all, AMC just don't care. Oh my god, is there more? Alright, but AMC doesn't care about the skeleton of the show, the budget of the show. They don't. So why is it any surprise that they fired Chandler Riggs? It isn't. I can see why they fired him, because one, they didn't want to pay him as an adult, since he was turning 18. They didn't want to pay him as an adult, and they probably didn't have believed that he could carry the show with how some of his scenes fell flat. But honestly, I let it slide because of the father-son dynamic. But I mean, ultimately, Chandler Riggs gets to do other things, which I'm happy for him. You know, it's just I can't watch the show the same way anymore. I just can't. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. If you don't know the story now, bottom line is AMC fired Chandler Riggs and they did his sliming. Now, another point, which is kind of a sub point for this one, how it was handled, is how it continues flaws of the show. Now, there's a few different flaws. Dragged out deaths, for one. Predictable structure, for another. Very predictable structure. And the moral character is the death of the season. There's always a moral character. Always the moral compass. Oh, we gotta do right. We gotta do this. We can't kill everybody. You know, we gotta fight for the future. It's always the moral character that's biting the dust in the season. And I don't know how they made Carl fit that mold when he didn't. This place is crawling with them, isn't it? Yep. Oh, come on, nothing? But yeah, the predictable structure, the moral character is always the one to bite the dust, and what else? Dragged out episodes. Yeah, Carl's death episode was kind of dragged out. I'm not gonna lie. If he died midway through or 3/4 of the way through, that would have been fine. But the whole episode just, like a lot of people, at some point I'm like, can you just die already, man? I want to see what happens after. I don't want to have to wait till the next episode. I would like to see a little bit after the fact, which we kind of did. You know, we knew Rick was gonna be torn. You know, we knew Rick was going to be destroyed. The only interesting thing about Carl dying was how was Rick going to react to it. It's the only interesting thing about it. Other than that, it wasn't tasteful for me. Carl's death was not tasteful. Yeah, it just continued the same old tired, recycled bullshit of the show. Like, always the moral compass character. Always. Always a dragged out episode. Fuck. In the middle of the season, smack dab, big main character in the middle of the season. Last time we had a character death that wasn't in episode 1, 7, 8, 15, or 16 was Lori's in episode 4. Or was it, what? No, Shane died in episode 12, which was the, pre-finale of the season, of season 2, so it was still kind of the same thing. But yeah, it just continues the same dumb shit. And I'm pretty sure there are dogs out here, so I might just die here soon. Oh, you want a piece, baby? Alright, come and get it. But yeah, it just continues the same old tired shit, and I'm tired of it. And I'm mad they just reduced Carl to that role, to that mold. And then like, oh, he's expendable. There will be no blowback. No, there's gonna be loads of blowback, bitch. Oh shit. Alright, Alright. I can't believe I'm out here killing zombies with a torch. Alright, but yeah. Continues the same old tired thing. Now, my final point to get closer to wrapping this up is it kind of screws with the comic screen potential. Now, this kind of goes back to me being more of a TV fan before season 7 and then becoming a hybrid and more favored of the comics. See, like, I didn't know of the comic connection. I just knew there was a video game about it. And there was a comic, but I didn't know how similar there was. Watching it the first time, up till the end of season 5, waiting for season 6, I felt like it was a masterpiece. Like, that was probably the best point in the show. Honestly, the best time to watch the show was 1 to 5, maybe 6. Now, I'm not saying 6 or 7 were bad, but they kind of fell to they felt susceptible of TV trauma. You know, TV fatigue. When the show goes on for so long, shit's gonna happen to it. It's just the way it is. But yeah. It screws with the comic to TV potential. Now, after reading the comics before season 7 came in, and seeing the comic TV, you know, shot for shot, such as, you know, for example, something as small as season 3 when Glenn and Maggie got captured and Maggie was hearing Glenn get beat up. Now, this is a perfect example of a comic to screen, but also remixed, but not, you know, too big and to the point where it's unrecognizable, you know? Maggie basically had Glenn's role, while Glenn had Michonne's role, while Michonne was heading to fucking to the prison, you know what I'm saying? Now, when I watched this upon knowing about the connection, it was just juicy. Now, another remix, which is a big deviation, but it works, but it's kind of a little forced, is Sasha's character. Now, up until probably season 5, she seemed to be an original character, and this is like the back half of season 5, mainly season 6. But it seemed like she was a more of an original character rather than a remix comic book character. Now, they forced her to fit this mold that Holly left behind after she was basically killed off in season 6, episode 1. Sasha became Holly, Abraham's love interest, pretty much. And, you know, it kind of felt weird to have her, you know, freak out over Bob and then suddenly be able to get into another relationship. But, you know, people gotta move on, they gotta live. So, you know, I was just letting them do the thing. But the fact that she freaked out so freaking much after Abraham when they barely had any time together was like, wait, hold up, what? You know, like, now Holly in the comics was pretty much the same way, but it was like it was kind of weird to see Sasha do it. But it, you know, the way she went out was kind of it was kind of a masterpiece, because it was foreshadowed in season 5 when they got to Alexandria. It was kind of foreshadowed because you know what I'm saying, when she was laying in the pit of zombies, it was kind of foreshadowing that she would become a walker. Now, this is kind of an example of a remix that, you know, is good, but could have been better. Seemed a little forced. It's just an example of that. Now, Carl, I don't know. There's just things that I feel like can't be remixed, especially with another character. Holly wasn't a big enough character for it to matter. Andrea kind of was. A lot of people didn't like the fact that she died and that Michonne took the role. Me, I didn't particularly care, since I didn't like Andrea in the show before I knew of Andrea in the comics. Now, I prefer the Rick-Michonne relationship because, you know, I got interracial parents myself, you know, but yeah, but bottom line, like, you can't, I mean, there's some characters you can't remix and switch out, and it won't work as well as it could have. Now, everybody feels different about Rick Michonne. I don't care that they remixed it. In fact, I like it better. But killing Carl to have Enid replace him, it's not gonna work. We don't care for Enid like we did Carl. If you did care for Carl, I don't care for Enid like that. I only cared for her in the extent that she was Sophia's replacement, kind of, sort of. And now she's gonna be Carl's replacement. That doesn't fly with me. That doesn't work with me. It doesn't. Because we don't care about Enid like we did about Carl. The Enid-Negan relationship won't really flow. What best they got go off of? Oh, you were the friend of the boy that I liked so much? I can't see a conversation being held in a prison cell over that shit. But it just, you can't redo Carl's storyline and give parts of it to Daryl and most of it to Enid. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. But I'm telling you right now, they're gonna do it. And I knew this before I even looked into spoilers. They're gonna do it. They're gonna give it to Enid, because you can't give a storyline like Carl discovering Lydia to a grown-ass man. You can't do that. Who's the other child character in the story other than Henry? Enid. Enid. Fucking Enid. And like, I'm not saying I never liked Enid. It's just I didn't care for her like I cared about Carl. There's no dynamic with her. The only parent, mentor, child dynamic she has is fucking what? Maggie. And Lauren Cohan might leave if her show picks up. If it's not canceled after season 1, she might leave. And then what's left? Enid and Daryl? People didn't like Beth and Daryl. You think Enid and Daryl's gonna work? They've barely had any interaction. It's not gonna work. But bottom line, I feel like Carl's death was just, it's the show jumping the shark. It's what it created a black hole, and everything's gonna be sucked into it. I honestly believe that Carl's death is what jumpstart Andrew Lincoln wanting to leave, because he's become so silent about the whole incident, Carl dying, and he's become more kind of isolated now. Like, he wasn't really a person that was on social media and shit like that. He never was. But after Carl's death, there's just been something different about Andrew Lincoln. And understandably so, because that's his American son, as he puts it himself. Now, to conclude this, because I've been ranting for a bit of a while, the heart of the show's gone. With Carl being dead, the heart of the show's gone. Glenn was part of the heart. Herschel was part of the heart. And other children being the future and the hope. All of that is gone now. There is none of that. Not with Enid, not with Henry, not with Sadiq, not with Judith, not with any of the new characters that are coming. I mean, there might be, depending on how they're, introduced to us. But there is no heart, there is no soul, there's no hope, there's no future. None of that. Andrew, already talked about Andrew Lincoln leaving. I feel like this contributed to that. Not only him wanting to be with his family, but, basically his family on the show is dead. So, yeah. That's it for his character, because what else is there for his character to do besides everybody else? I'm not interested in him leading everybody else. I'm interested in him protecting his family. Him biting dude's neck out to protect his family. Oh. And fans that, like me, that love that father-son dynamic, and there are a lot of us. And not only those kind of fans, but fans that watch the show from the beginning, there are going to be less and less of us. Especially with Andrew Lincoln. And a few others leaving, like Lauren Cohan and others that I don't want to mention, because huge spoilers. Season 1 and season, early season fans are going to want to check out. They're going to want to check out, because they're going to be alienated. It's going to be an unrecognizable show to them. You're going to have to try to pull them back in. And, after watching the show for 8 years or however long they did, if you can't pull them back in, they're not going to watch. Simply put, we got other shit to do. Okay? And, yeah, that's... bottom line, though, who's to blame? Is it Gimple? Is it Kirkman? Because he didn't want the show to be, panel for panel. That's what they're saying. Some people are saying he advocated for Carl's death. You know, is it Kirkman and not Gimple? Bottom line, is it Chandler Riggs? Nah. Bottom line, I think it's AMC. That's who I'm blaming for why this happened and why things are gonna happen. Oh shit! I just walked past my backpack. I just realized that. But yeah, that's basically my rant. That's the way I'm concluded. But yeah, like wasted potential. Let me wrap this up in a bow with a wasted potential opportunity. I mentioned this in the start of my video. Season 6 finale, when they brought Stephen Ogg in, I was like, holy fuck yes. Trevor from GTA 5. Trevor? Oh fuck, hell yeah. I'm gonna love this. Now, I'm not gonna say I hated the way they did Stephen Ogg's character and the way he went out with shit. I actually like the way he went out in a gladiator death match with Negan. It's pretty badass. That kind of mirrors, you know, Shane and Rick falling out. It kind of mirrors that. So, you know, I enjoyed it. But what I would have enjoyed better was to see, after Carl being picked on in the season 6 finale, after Carl being picked on again in season 7 episode 9 by Stephen Ogg, you know, him flipping his hat and shit, you know, just flicking that shit and basically saying, it won't turn out the way it did with your boy and shit like that, you know. I thought it would have been, you know, kind of awesome to see a child who probably, without the apocalypse, would have played Grand Theft Auto 5, take out Stephen Ogg. I thought that would have been pretty cool, you know, especially after he flicked his hat those few times. I thought that would have been pretty cool. And I truly feel that was a wasted opportunity to not have Chandler Riggs' character, Carl Grimes, take out Stephen Ogg's character, Simon. I sincerely feel like that was a wasted opportunity. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna wrap this up. My you know, my season 8, or basically Carl death rant. You know, I've been thinking about this for a while, you know, seeing if I'm overreacting or not. But you know, I haven't been invested in any other media for a while, actually, up until I came across The Walking Dead. But yeah, like, yeah, that's just how I can I'm gonna end it. Yeah, it's just disheartening, and I can't watch the show. Like, I can, it's not gonna feel the same. It feels empty. Like, even though Rick Grimes losing his son, him acting the way he did was interesting, and it was cool to see that side of him, even though we seen flashes of that side of him when his child was in danger. Ultimately, second half of season 8 felt empty, and I just feel like the rest of the show is gonna feel like that. That's just me. But yeah, I just want to wrap this up like that. That's how I feel about Carl death. What months? I want to say 7-8 months after the fact. And yeah, I'm not fully invested where the show is going now. Now, you can call me a fake fan. You can say I was never a true fan. You can say I never was, because I never watched it from the beginning when it first came out. I did watch it from the beginning, but I didn't watch it when it first came out. But yeah, bottom line, I'm just not that pulled into the show anymore with Carl being gone. That father-son dynamic that kept me there is not there, so I'm not really there. But yeah, that's how it's gonna end. TJunioR here. Hope you enjoyed. I got more content coming out for you guys soon, and I might be touching back on this later. But yeah, you guys take care.